Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. I hope you're all having an amazing day. We're starting off, we've got the white piece. We've got the black pieces against a 17-17 from the Philippines. We've got a d4. Let's go ahead and play a d5. This is what we're sort of going with for the time being. Trying to sort of get used to the album. Still deciding if that's something I want to keep in my repertoire. But for now, I think it's going okay. And we get an e3. Now, an e3 is a particularly strange thing to do. Particularly strange. They rather don't want to develop anything. And they're just being boring for the sake of being boring. Not even a London system. Yeah. I don't know what to do here. I'm stuck already. Which is brilliant. Right, what you want from the get-go. I reckon a bishop f5 can't really go amiss here. I've played something similar. You play like a sort of pseudo-Slav, semi-Slav, whatever it is. I don't know. And then we've got an f4. I have zero clue what to do here. Absolutely zero. I guess there's nothing wrong with playing a c5. We've got to watch out for the bishop check, although a knight c6 is just fine, I reckon. Or we could go ahead with the safe e6. I reckon maybe they're going for a h3, g4 move. But we always have bishop e4. We always have bishop. We don't have bishop g6 because of f5. That's the whole point of the trap. You're trying to trap the bishop. But bishop's, yeah, e4 is perfectly fine. So let's go ahead with that, and then we can push c5. If I know my letters, we can push c5. I hope you all enjoyed the last video in the Endgame series that I posted yesterday. I think that was one of the better ones, in my opinion. I know there wasn't particularly a lot of content, just because of the nature of Queens and Rooks, but I felt like it was a good one. I'm not sure about you guys. It got a decent amount of views, more than average, I believe, which is good to see. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to be doing next in the lessons, to be honest. Probably some openings. I quite enjoyed covering the Scotch in that that one random opening video we did, because the sound on one of the videos got corrupted. So I quite enjoyed doing that. I might do some others. Just do videos on my sort of repertoire. If you want anything specific, we can definitely cover that if you just ask. Write as a comment, whatever. And we've got knight f3. And I still don't know what they're going for. Knight e5 doesn't look good. Maybe they want a c5, knight c6, bishop b5, and then knight e5. Trying to just annoy the pin, basically. But I think we're fine, to be honest. I think we're fine. I'm not stressing that. I think even a knight f6, knight e4 would work here. With the idea of check, followed by push, knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes, rook. So let's go ahead with that. Worst case, we can come back to d7 as well, if we really, really want to get rid of this knight. And okay, so they've gone bishop to d3, just contesting this e4 square. And I'm wondering if I can just go there now. We could go bishop e4, or knight to e4. Knight e4 does free up our queen. But I assume knight e4 castles is coming. And then maybe we're not as good. Bishop g4, h3 looks bad for them. We could even go back to h4 and potentially sack the bishop, or probably sack the rook. Pawn takes, bishop takes, with some ideas of maybe takes with check or something along those lines. Or we could just go back potentially with because the pawn's guarding the f5 push. We could go back. We could throw in a check if we felt that way inclined. I'm not too sure about that, though. Not too sure about that. Actually, knight there, bishop takes, pawn takes, displaces the knight and allows queen to h4. Although g3 is still just fine. Just fine, yeah. Or c5. c5 is an option. Or bishop takes c5. But then you're not really doing anything. You're sort of undoubling their pawns after takes, which isn't ideal. I don't think queen takes is particularly good, simply because we can just put the knight back there still. Maybe a bishop g4 is the way to go. Or we could just take, and then we have check. Yeah, let's go takes. Let's go takes. I think takes is usually a pretty good move when the bishop goes to like a d3 thing, especially in like the, what is it, the Caro or the London. I think that happens a lot with the bishop trade straight away. So I think it's not going to be a bad move. It might not be particularly accurate, but it's not going to be a blunder of any sorts, I don't think. And then we just sort of play on the light squares. They're stuck with a terrible dark square bishop, a really bad dark square bishop. So that's good for us. We've obviously got the knight coming into e5, which is scary. Not really. We've always got knight d7 if we really need to. And then this knight depends on what they take with. Can still come into e4 because knight c3 isn't there. I don't think I would take if knight c3 simply because that sort of fixes their dark squared bishop. We really want that to be sort of locked there, so maybe even like a bishop d6 with a queen e7, stopping any bishop to a3 could be good. Could be good. I don't think c5 is the way to go anymore. So they have taken with the queen, which is a strange one, to be honest. It's probably fine. It is probably fine. Now, I don't know if I do want to actually cover this e5 square or continue with some sort of attack. Knight to c6. The queen is coming in, but am I particularly scared about that? I'm not sure. If we do like an a6, we even have, after queen takes b, we even potentially have knight b4, which is interesting. But then the queen comes back with check. Actually, no, it can't come back with check. That's really interesting, actually. Yeah, I quite like that. I quite like that. That's an interesting line where you sack this pawn. What? C3 is not the way to go. At all. Okay, so they've made some serious, I don't even know what to say, miscalculations, misplays. And it's not particularly looking good for them. I'm not going to lie. See, if I knew they were going to play that, I would have wanted knight c7 or knight d7, so I can go knight to e4 followed by a knight to c6, knight to f6, and just back up this knight so we can actually take, and then knight takes. Knight goes back to e4 with a bit of an outpost. It's not particularly an outpost because the knight can come back and kick it, so maybe. And I'm wondering if we want to break with e5. It's not too tempting at the minute, but it's something to consider, I think, in the future. We need to do something. We definitely need to do something here. This is a moment we need to sort of take advantage of this terrible dark square bishop. Yeah. Maybe a knight going to f5. It's not doing anything there. It's not particularly doing anything. Although a knight d6. But again, not really. We don't need to go on e4 just yet. In the end game, that would be amazing. Especially if we can get a couple of these knights off. A knight e4 would be amazing. But yeah, we need to do something. I don't want bishop d6 because knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes. It's actually not looking that good for us, especially on the f file. So maybe we even want a queenside castle. Fianchetto with a kingside castle potentially. With the idea of f6, e5. With a knight back to d7 could work. Bishop on queen on e7. That could work. Let's go for that. I think that's a decent plan. It's a plan at least. You know, the knight goes there. I think I could even just let them take the knight there, to be honest. I'm not too stressed about that. The push is good for us. I think we just castle here. And we let them double up. So then we can actually use one of these pawns to break. Now we're definitely not taking this knight with the whole idea of the rook coming in. So maybe we go knight to d7, like we said. Then f6 to kick out this knight. And then, yeah, the knight on d7 is also supporting any c5 push after takes, which I quite like as well. So they're probably going to go knight to f3 here. But after f6, I think we're just good. Their dark squared bishop is still out of the game. And I'm sort of happy here. I am sort of happy. I think as long as we keep this dark squared bishop out of the game, we're practically playing up a piece, up even 2 pieces, because they're going to struggle to develop their a1 rook. e4 is not something I considered. e4 f6. E takes. And then we can lock up on f5. Then the knight's really coming in on e4. f6, e takes. Knight takes, pawn takes. Is annoying. Is really annoying. So do we have to take this then? I don't want to take it. I don't want to take it. So we said f6, e takes. No, we said e takes, didn't we? We said e takes. Yeah. f6, knight takes, pawn takes, e takes. Yes, that's fine. So we push f6. I think I'm happy with that. I think we get a nice pawn structure out of it, especially if we can get e5 in. And they take that knight, which is strange. Okay, well, we'll just take it. So we have 2 options here. We can take it. Well, 3 options really. I don't think letting them take is good, because this e6 pawn is super weak. We can take and let them take this way. The bishop's got a diagonal now, although it's not particularly strong. And actually, our bishop's the one in the mud a bit, to be honest. And they have a good file. Is f5 any better? This dark square bishop is permanently stuck. Like, permanently stuck. However, can we actually break through? I don't think c4 is particularly scary because we have the play on the queen side. So I think f5 is probably the way to go, and they're going to struggle. They're going to have to do some risky sort of kingside pawn breaks in order to continue their sort of attack, I'm pretty sure. We even have bishop h6 potentially. Actually taking the diagonal from them. So if the pawn push, it's almost like pinned, which could potentially work. We would have to see. Where is this knight going? Where does it want to be? Is a good question. I think it actually wants to be on c6. However, this pawn is then not particularly good. Would it be better on b6? So maybe if we get like a b5 in somehow, supported, and then maneuver it to b6, holding this this c4 square, holding the a4 square as well. And then if we can manage to trade off the bishop for this knight, which is the ideal situation, then that would be really good. Okay. So they're looking for c4. They're looking for c4. They're looking for bishop a3. I think maybe a rook c8 with a bishop f8 could be good. Just to stop any tempos. Maybe even a rook b8. No, maybe a rook d8. We've got so many squares to choose from. So, rook d8 would support this pawn if they ever push. Support the backwards pawn. Making it less desirable for them to actually break up with that. That doesn't really do anything apart from if we ever push c5, which I think is a while away. So I think it's probably d8 that we go to. And then we need to stop them getting their bishop to a better square, which, to be honest, there's not really many squares actually on this diagonal. I think swapping off the bishops would be bad for us, because that's it's still a terrible bishop. It has one diagonal. They go rook to g3. Rook to g3. Is that a weird one? Is that a weird one? I'm not even sure. What are you trying? Are you trying a kingside attack somehow? Potentially. I feel like we've got that well covered though. Your bishop can't get in. Your knight's not particularly doing anything. Where's it going? There. There. Hit this pawn maybe. But then like even a h6 would work in defending with a... Yeah. Even like a king h5, although it couldn't get there with the knight on g5. Maybe now we go knight e7, although that lends itself to bishop a3. Knight c8. Are we scared about this kingside attack at all? It's something we've got to decide now, I think. Something we have to decide now. Maybe a bishop f8 isn't that bad. And then we could even go to e7 to just take the knight when it comes on this square. And then we're properly safe. Let's go with that. If we can... Like we said, trade off the bishop for the knight if it ever comes in. That would be ideal. So let's go for that. And it's taking control of the diagonal while we can, which can only really be a good thing, I think. But yeah, I think we're still good. I'm not stressing about that. The queen's going to take a while to come in, and then we're still fine. And once the queen moves, we actually just have b5. Knight e7 lends itself to bishop a3, which we said. Maybe the knight goes this way to b6 then. Yeah, let's do that. We've got to reroute our knight somehow. So we might as well bite the bullet while they're spending some time with this attack that we don't think is going to work. We've got a queen f7 or g7 as well, if we need to. Just to cover this again, because they can't really get that many more. Yeah, so we'll go bishop e7 now. That's fine. That's fine. It's all good. We even now have a c5 with the idea of takes with check, and then we can just come back. Then the knight's actually happy back on c6, which is good. Which is good. And then an a5 to stop any push. We're just taking that immediately. Immediately taking that. Don't even have to think about it. And then we need to support this push somehow. Could we even just go for it? Takes, push. And just try to swap off. Takes, push. Or a knight to a6 with push. Knight to e6 with c5. Bishop d3 is just cutting off their queen from any attack they actually had going on. This g5 pawn is weak if they ever go to a3. We don't have b6. We do have queen c5. We also have c6, knight c7, knight b5, hitting these, hitting the bishop on a3. Okay, so we actually still don't need to do anything about that. Yeah, we still don't need to do anything about that. What are you doing, queen there? Do we actually have to do anything about that? Bishop there, queen there. If they actually get their other rook in, followed by their queen, I would be a bit scared. And the problem is we're actually struggling to get another rook into the game because it'll have to come through these two squares. So maybe we do that now and bite the bullet. Let them have bishop a3, so then we can go bishop to f7, and then we're completely covered from this attack. Okay, so they're looking for h5, which I think is fine, because we would just take, and then take. So we'll go bishop to f7, and we'll just take that. I think we just take that. Either that or we go rook g7 after takes, rook takes. Yeah, I think that's probably better. Probably better. Probably better, I think. Because the queen's still covering h7. And I think this is just heading towards trading things off, which can only really be good for us. If we can get the queens off especially, I'd be super happy. Because these pawns are super weak. Easy target for our knight. Which, yes, the bishop could cover, but they wouldn't be able to cover both sides of the board at the same time. Which would be good for us. And if we can get our king maybe on g6 after everything's traded off and just hit this again, then we'll be extra solid, I think. We do have 1 minute and a quarter, I guess. Almost a quarter seconds. I don't know if that's the right way to say that. I don't think I've ever said a quarter minute. But we got 14 seconds is what I'm trying to say. 1 minute and 14 seconds. So we do have to speed up a bit, but no immediate worries just yet. I can't believe we're actually on move 22. It feels like we've been playing this game for ages. Feels like we've been playing this for ages. I don't think there's anything tricky they can do here. Pawn takes. Rook takes. Queen h3. I don't think I would take h6. I think pawn takes is too good. I think I would probably just leave it there, to be honest. Just leave it. Then maybe even go queen g7. Could be good, nice. Could be guys. But yeah, I think this attack doesn't particularly work. I think we're good. And this is why I think we needed to get the rook out while we could. Because you can imagine if they had bishop a3, then it would be a lot scarier. Maybe a queen f7 here. Queen f7 could work. They're not really, it's more of a move order thing here. Or maybe we bring another rook in. Maybe we just bring another rook in because they're still not threatening anything. Are they threatening anything? No, because rook takes. Yeah, let's bring the other rook in while we can. And then we'll just be super solid. We even could potentially play f4 just to stop their other rook coming in. Although that's super sketchy, to be honest. super sketchy. Queen d8, hitting this pawn if the bishop ever comes to a3 potentially. And then we are also threatening to trade off as well, which could be nice. And this queen side is just happy sitting here, I think. The more they push, the more holes they would make for our knight. Especially because we already have the light squares sort of locked in. They would be making light squared holes, which can't really be good for them. You know, my knight's just going to infiltrate. And I think we're happy. Obviously, the computer's going to tell us we're way off. But that's what the computer does. You know, and that's the beauty of the game. As long as we never take this pawn with the pawn, basically, that would be not particularly nice in this situation. I don't think it would be losing, but it's just not ideal at all. Especially if we go rook to f7, because that would just be checkmate with the rook coming in on h8. That's a weird move for the bishop, but we'll continue our plan. I think they're just trying to get the other rook in the game. Doesn't particularly make a difference. We'll go queen d8 and hit this with takes potentially. That's a strange one. Yeah, why not? Let's play c5. Let's play c5. We've got no reason not to. Obviously, pawn takes, knight takes is just really nice after knight to e4. We're never taking this bishop. That's staying there forever. Everything's on light squares, apart from this rook, but that can't ever be hit. Unless they somehow manage to get a bishop past my queen and onto f6. But I don't think I would let that happen. There. is interesting. We can still just ignore that, though. Let's take this pawn. We can ignore it. We just do rook takes. They have no attack, basically. They have no attack. Actually, they have an attack. That would be mate. No! We're losing. We're losing. We are losing. Oops. Oops. Miscalculated. Miss everything. It's always when I'm the most cocky as well. It's always when I'm the most cocky. Gosh. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We'll play on. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to surrender. We'll play on. We're only down a rook, you know. We're only down a rook. We're fine. We got this. We've got this. If we recover from this, then you all need to sub, basically. You subscribe. And then like every single one of my videos, because this is an impossible challenge. But we're going to try it. It's a shame. It is a shame. It is a shame. I think takes there. Queen e8 doesn't work. It would have to be takes. And then push. So they check. And we just go up, I think. Go up. Yeah, that's fine. We take. And we just drop the king back. They trade off queens. And we hide. We hide and we run as far as we can away. Yeah, that's the annoying thing. They get all the trades as well. They get all of the trades. We'll go to c6 just to cover this pawn. But there is nothing stopping them promoting. Nothing at all stopping them promoting. They trade the rook. I guess, yeah, you promote. But that seems like some potential stalemate opportunities, you know? Some potential stalemate opportunities. Which we love to see, really. We love to see. The more stalemating opportunities, the better. And this is another loss in the belt buckle. I don't think that's the right saying again. But yeah, that's a brutal one. That is a brutal one. I thought we were good. And the computer will probably say less good than I think. But I think that, to be honest, in the middle game, the computer will agree with me. We just made a slip up there. Made a slip up. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. It's very rough. But we live with it. We move on. We learn. And we'll learn definitely from this. E3, yeah. It's rough when you're out of theory. It is rough. And I think they can just promote it. I don't see why they would ever take this. It's just more stalemating opportunities, which we're trying our best. There's no guarantees at all. But yeah, we'll see. We will see. Hello. Move, please. Please and thank you. Hello. Have you run away? It always happens. They make you wait. They make you wait, and they make you think about it. You know, it's brutal. It's mean. It is mean. Very mean. Yeah, I don't know what to. I could resign here, but I feel like we have some stalemating opportunities. It's not over till it's over. You know, I'm a big believer in that. If you've got a chance of stalemating, you should play out for the stalemate, because there might be something cool. You know, it's always cool. You see these forced stalemates sometimes, where you get like infinite checks or something, or you sacrifice something to get a stalemate. But you never know. You never know. You don't get those unless you try it. So we'll try it. We will try it. And yeah, this person is just run away. Run away. They've taken their winning position and they've gone for some reason. I'll probably speed this up. In the edit if they drag this out, but I will wait. I'll wait it out if I have to. It's 5 minutes. What's 5 minutes of my time? Is nothing, basically. I've played like 6 hour long games, over the board, trying to calculate draws and stuff. But yeah, 5 minutes is nothing. Anyway, we'll push the pawn like we planned. Try to get some stalemate out of it, and see how that goes. They're still thinking. They're thinking hard. There's no reason why you can't. There's no reason why you can't promote as well. My whole sort of plan revolves around getting these pushed as far as they can with my king as well. My king will blockade one of them to stop them moving. And if we can get maybe... they under promote. Brilliant. They're messing with us. They are messing with us. Hopefully we'll make them regret it, but no guarantees. No guarantees. They always... it goes wrong most often when you mess around. That's when you're most likely to stalemate somebody, when you start messing around. I've done that before. When in a bullet game or something, when I start under promoting and doing stupid stuff, and I end up with a stalemate or something. But we'll see. Nothing. No guarantees. No nothing. We'll try wait till they get to the pre-moving stage, and then we'll promote. See if anything changes there. But the king would be in check, so they wouldn't legally be allowed to make any other moves, which is annoying. We could do a rook. That would be interesting. Imagine that. I don't think it would win anyway if we get a rook. Even if we get a queen, it's probably still not winning. But we'll see. The good thing is the queen holds the knight, but then these two squares are still viable, I guess is the word. Available. And yeah, nasty stuff. That tactic was... It was probably... Should have seen it. Yeah, I don't know whether I should have just taken that straight away while it's not doubled. And maybe get my queen there instead, so the queen can still cover the pawn. I don't know. We'll have to check with the computer analysis. And this person is still messing about with us. Don't count your chickens. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Don't count your eggs before they hatch into chickens, into eggs. I don't know. I need a book of sayings or something. I need a book of sayings so I actually know what I'm on about. Because a lot of the time I just make it up. If you say anything with the right accent and the right confidence, it could be a saying. That's a good way to live life, I think. Just say stuff with enough confidence that people believe you. And hopefully it goes well. That describes my chess as well. Just play things with confidence until it goes well. And if it doesn't go well, do the same thing until it goes well. Don't change anything. Never change anything. They are taking the pawn. Okay. Okay, okay. I don't know what the best course of action is. Maybe a queen. Nah, we're a bit boxed in, to be honest. We are a bit boxed in. It's going to be a tough one to stalemate. Are they trying to mate me with a bishop and knight? We're in the wrong corner for it. I don't think they have the time for that, to be honest. Stalemating opportunities? We're in the wrong corner, my friend. Would you guys like a video on knights versus bishop mate? Not knight versus knight and bishop mate, because I can do that. I know it's something a lot of people struggle with. And I can officially say I've done it in a game. So, yeah, if you guys fancy that, there's tons of resources out there to help you out. But, yeah, if you guys fancy it. I think they are actually trying to do it, but there's so many things in the way. It just wouldn't work. And this is the wrong corner. If you don't know, you need the same coloured corner as the bishop. In order to make the stalemate, you need in order to make the checkmate, you need the same corner as the bishop. But I don't think these guys particularly know that. I say these guys, it's one person. You know, like what am I on about? Yeah, this guy particularly knows that. We can play out 50 moves of this if we feel that way inclined. I'm not sure if I would just bite the bullet and resign or what. But they can just promote the pawn at any time. They're the ones doing this. But yeah. I think we'll probably speed this up in the edit. I don't think I should subject you guys to watching this. Maybe show if it is a stalemate, we'll show that. Promote stalemate. Ah, they're not doing it. They're not doing it. King there, stalemate. King there, stalemate. You got it. You go for it. Ah! Oh, amazing. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, let's look at this, because that was horrific, really. And the eval bar is hating me. It's absolutely hating me. It's going straight up for white. So I must have been doing something wrong. But anyway, 76.3 versus an 81.3. 2000 versus 1900. So it's not particularly bad. I think we just let the position slip away from us. So e3 is a weird opening. It wants an e6, which I'm never playing, ever. And then f4, which is obviously weird. E3 as well. It wasn't a big fan of bishop takes. Apparently bishop e7 is better. I wonder about knight, not knight there. Knight there is okay. 94 is okay, potentially. Castles is good, apparently. Bishop g4 is not quite as good. Not quite as good. Okay, queen takes is... We thought queen takes wasn't particularly good. And then apparently c5 there is what they want. I think I was maybe too focused on the dark square bishop. And then this fianchetto plan was not the move, I don't think. And we were good to not take this knight, but apparently knight to e7 is the way to go. I quite liked knight takes and then pawn takes. And then f6 continuing the plan. And this is about equal. And we were right to block it up with f5. We were right to move the rook, although our first thought c8 is better. Wow. And then b5. I think we said b5 at some point as well. Sacking the pawn. Wow. That's brutal. Why not queen takes? I guess you just get annoyed with rooks. Knight takes e5. Oh, because you get the pawn. The knight defends the queen while the queen attacks the queen. Very nice. Yeah, I should have seen that maybe. Yeah, will we get the... Yeah, so we were completely right to trade off the bishop. And then this is dead even. Apparently our knight a6 plan is where we started to go wrong. And I can sort of see that the knight being a bit far away from everything. But apparently c5 here is the better move. And we were right to bring our rook across. This is still 0.9 for white, so we're still okay here. And then c5 is the way to go. They kept making the same sort of mistake. And then knight b8 is where we went wrong again. Knight to b8, what? Instead of rook to f7. Rook to f7 just seems so natural. Yeah, rook f7. It's not showing us follow up. Anyway, c5 way too late, and then yeah, we obviously are just losing here, which we've seen. And then the amazing stalemating opportunities. I don't think it's probably too short now to show speed it up in the edit, but we we managed to get the stalemate, and we called it as well. We predicted it. But yeah, gosh. We'll look at some. In fact, I can't even be bothered looking at the opening. It was crazy stupid. I hate when people play e3. It just makes no sense to me. Why aren't you doing the center? But then again, they had the better position out of it, so I'm the one who played it wrong. So what can I really say? Anyway, that was stupid. That was a really stupid game. A really stupid game from me, I'll say, rather than a stupid game, because they obviously bested me. Really stupid draw as well. I apologize to the people of the Philippines. Yeah, I'm sorry. But I've got to take it, you know. A draw's a draw. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked. And I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Bye-bye.